attorneys please make your announcements for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Luis Echeverria for the state of Texas.
Cristina Mendiola for Mr. Garza.
Mr. Garza is appearing by video conference from the Bexar County Jail. Mr. Garza, go ahead and tell me your full name for the record.
Jacob Matthew Garza.
Okay. I'm going to show you the true bill of indictment that was filed in each case. In cause number ending in 684, the charge is robbery and it alleges a repeat offender enhancement allegation. As state on this case, how are we going to proceed?
Judge, the state is proceeding as charged, including the enhancement.
No, I think the steps say second degree, but let me see. Second degree, second degree. I don't think you're proceeding on enhancements if it's a robbery second degree. Oh, I see. I was looking at the wrong line. You're correct. On 8-4, you are proceeding as charged as the first degree with the enhancements. So let me take that back. We'll do each plea separate since it's a separate range of punishment. So let's start with the first degree felony. That's cause number ending in 684. Mr. Garza, that indictment in 684 does allege the offense of robbery. And I apologize, I thought I was screen sharing. It alleges the offense of robbery alleged to have occurred December 7th, 2020, and it also has a repeat offender enhancement allegation. So normally, Mr. Garza, a robbery is a second degree felony, but because the state intends to prove, or you're gonna plead true to the enhancement paragraph, that means the enhancement paragraph is just a legal way of saying you had a penitentiary trip, right? What that does is it bumps it up to a first degree felony. A first degree felony is punishable by confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division for any period from 5 to 99 or life confinement, and also a possible fine of up to $10,000. Do you understand the range of punishment that applies?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to a jury trial on this charge. You have the right to cross-examine the witnesses against you, and you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand those are your constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am.
When you sign this document, what you're telling me is that you want to give up those rights because you've made an agreement with the state. Is that what you intend to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your electronic signature here, Mr. Garza, that I'm showing you on the screen?
Yes.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
If you were not a citizen, I'm still required to tell you that a plea of guilty or no contest to this charge could result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Mr. Garza, are you satisfied with the representation of your attorney?
Yes.
Ms. Mendiola, does your client have a rational and factual understanding of the proceedings against him?
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
Has he been able to assist you in the preparation of any defenses?
Yes, he has.
And in your opinion, is he mentally competent to waive his rights and enter into a plea?
Yes, Your Honor, he does.
I will accept the waiver and make it part of the record. Mr. Garza, let's take a look at this plea bargain that you made. It calls for you to agree that you have been previously convicted of one or more felonies for enhancement purposes. Punishment will be assessed at a cap of 15 years to do. The state is opposed to your application for probation, and this will run concurrent with the other robbery case, 2021 CR 1685. Is that your understanding of the plea bargain?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Mendiola, is that your understanding of the plea bargain?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
State, is that your understanding?
It is, Your Honor.
What is your plea to the charge of robbery as alleged in the indictment? Is it guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone force you to plead guilty
No, ma'am.
or offer you anything in exchange for your plea?
No.
I will accept the plea of guilty. I find the plea is voluntarily made, and I will ask the state to tender its proof as to this case.
The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments pending any objection from defense counsel.
We have no objection, Your Honor.
State's one is admitted. All right, let's switch over to 685, Mr. Garza. Oh, and before we leave 684, Ms. Mendiola, are you satisfied the state complied with Article 3914?
Yes, they have, Your Honor.
I will sign the discovery acknowledgement and make it part of the record.
Thank you.
Let's move over to 685 and cause number 685. Mr. Garza, I'm showing you the true bill of indictment. Oops, I'm not, hold on, wrong one. Now you should see the true bill of indictment that was filed in the robbery cause. Also alleged to have occurred December 7, 2020. This is just a separate victim. Do you understand the charge that you have in this cause number, Mr. Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a second-degree felony, and it is punishable by confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
I'm coming.
Give me a minute, please. A second-degree felony is punishable by confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for any period from 2 to 20 years confinement and up to a $10,000 fine. Do you understand the range of punishment, Mr. Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to a jury trial on this charge. You have the right to cross-examine all of the witnesses against you, and you have the right to remain silent. Those are your constitutional rights. Do you understand those?
Yes, ma'am.
When you sign this court admonishments, you're telling me the same thing, that you want to give up those constitutional rights because you have an agreement with the state. Is that what you intend to do?
Yes.
Is this your electronic signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, I am.
If you were not a citizen, I'm still required to tell you a plea of guilty or no contest to this charge could result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Mr. Garza, are you satisfied
Yes, ma'am.
with the representation of your attorney?
Yes, I am.
Ms. Mendiola, does your client have a rational and factual understanding of the proceedings against him?
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
Has he been able to assist you in the preparation of any defenses as to the case?
Yes, he has.
And in your opinion, is he mentally competent to waive his rights and enter into a plea?
Yes, he is.
I will accept the waiver and make it part of the record. Mr. Garza, on the screen, I have the plea bargain agreement. It looks like it's identical to the 684 plea bargain agreement, but I'm going to go over it with you. It calls for punishment to be assessed at cap of 15 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. The state opposes your application for probation, and it'll run concurrent with 684. Is that your understanding of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Mendiola, is that your understanding?
That is correct, Your Honor.
State, is that your understanding?
It is, Judge. Yes.
So, Mr. Mendiola, the only difference between the two plea bargains is that one indictment alleges the repeat offender enhancement allegation, which you have agreed you're going to plead true to. And this case that does not allege it, but it's otherwise the same deal. It is a cap of 15 opposed. A cap opposed means that you're applying for deferred, and I will order all of the evaluations, and I make a decision at the end on the day of sentencing If I grant deferred, it could be up to 10 years. If I don't grant deferred and it's a prison sentence instead, it could be anywhere from 2 to 20 in this case, or 5 to 90, 5 to 15 in the second one. I'm wrong. It's 2 to 15 on the second degree and 5 to 15 on the other case. They would run concurrent. You only serve one prison sentence if that's what I decide. Is that your understanding of what you're getting yourself into?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to be real clear, and I'm sorry I kind of stumbled on that a little bit. I've been on the bench since 8 o'clock this morning. All right, so what is your plea to the charge of robbery in cause number ending in 685?
Guilty?
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilt? Has anyone forced you to enter a plea of guilty today?
No, ma'am.
Or has anyone offered you anything in exchange for your plea of guilty?
No.
I will accept the plea of guilty. I find it's voluntarily made, and I will ask the state to tender its proof.
The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments pending any objection from Ms. Mendiola.
We have no objection, Your Honor.
State's one is admitted. On this case, Ms. Mendiola, are you satisfied the state complied with Article 3914?
Yes, they did, Your Honor.
Let's sign the discovery acknowledgement and make it part of the record. And give me just a minute now. I'm going to read both of the exhibits that were presented. So hang tight. Brandon, is all of your paperwork completed?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
I don't see a plea packet, so maybe the clerks have it.
I have it, Judge. I'm signing it right now.
Go ahead and swear them in while I'm reading this. It's going to take me a few minutes.
I'll bring them from the other room.
Mr. Lopez, your client is there with you?
No, he should be, I see him Garcia on the
Oh,
screen.
I see him. I'm sorry. Mr. Garcia, I'm gonna go ahead and swear you in. Can you raise your right hand? And go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, there you go, ma'am.
Are you Rogelio Garcia, the defendant in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you familiar with the exhibits and stipulations that were attached?
Yes, ma'am.
And you solemnly swear it's true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
What does that mean, ma'am?
You went over the paperwork, the steps and everything?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're familiar with the jury waiver,
What does that mean?
the plea bargain?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. Your attorney has explained to you your constitutional rights and you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
It is your desire to enter this plea and waive your right to a jury trial.
Well, I'll pay no contest.
Okay, but you want to take the plea and not go to trial, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
The fee is like probation, right?
I didn't look at your plea bargain, sir, but whatever you went over with your attorney.
I'll read
Okay.
it from him. Ashley, can you put me with my client real quick again in a breakout? Rogelio,
Yeah.
at the bottom of your screen, there's a button that says breakout rooms.
Hey, sir. How you going to breakout room? Just a second, sir. Breakout room.
Okay. Thank you for your patience. I'm ready to go back on the record. In each of these cases, Mr. Garza, I do find the evidence is sufficient to substantiate your guilt, and I will make no other findings. We're going to reset this for a pre-sentence investigation report.
Judge, I'm not seeing Mr. Garza on the screen.
Oh, he probably went to the bathroom. We'll start over when he gets back. Bailiffs, can we find out where he's at?
Judge, when are you setting the PSI for?
August 19th. Well, he thought he was done, Ms. Mendiola, so we're going to wait for him to come back.
Sorry about that. Judge.
I don't know
Judge,
why. I'm sorry, what was that, Gretchen?
what date did you give Joe Waddell?
He needs to be indicted, so September 13th. Indicted on the family violence. Mr. Garza, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
I do find the evidence is sufficient to substantiate your guilt, but I'm not going to make any other findings at this time. I'm going to reset you to August the 19th for sentencing. In the meantime, we're going to order a TAP evaluation and a PSI.
Your Honor, you're also requesting, if I may, a DDRF, please?
Yes, we
Thank
can do it. We have time. DDRF will also be ordered, Bianca. You do have to go into a breakout room to get that process started, but before you do that, I want to go back to the indictment. On 684, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to take your plea on the enhancement allegation. Are you the same Jacob Matthew Garza that in cause number 2017 CR 2468 in Bexar County, Texas, was convicted of the felony offense of theft from a person, elderly victim? Is that true or not true?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to say true or not true.
True.
Okay, we will see you here and back at sentencing on the 19th. In the meantime, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with probation so they can get all of that process started. Do you want to go in there, Ms. Mendiola?
Yes, if I may, Your Honor.
They're in 3, Bianca. I'll put you in there. All right, thank you. He's excused after he
Thank you,
finishes
Anne.
with probation. Thank you. All right, and then we have Rogelio Garcia. Is he sworn in?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
Judge, I think that's all that CTD has. Can we be excused?
Yes, ma'am, Captain, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
I was like, where's Jen? You need a prosecutor.
I'm here.
Thank you, Jen. It's the last one. It's the last one.
I'm hanging on, Judge. I'm hanging on.
Well, I mean, it's the last plea. We still have to be here till
Yeah,
those win, but
anxiously awaiting.
yeah. Well, you know, Melissa hasn't moved. She is diligently working on other stuff.
That also may be happening. We don't know.
Oh, well, it looks like you're doing something very official from my side. If you're on Amazon, different story. Okay. Valerie, what I'm doing on these pleas that require a long reset for a PSI is I'm just printing the trial court cert app and the applications and just sticking it with the docket sheet.
Okay.
It's very hard for me to try to locate it months later. Ready, Ermini? Let's go on the record. This is cause number 2021 CR 1449, the state of Texas versus Rogelio Guadalupe Garcia. Attorneys, please make your announcements for the record.
Jennifer Meza for the state of Texas.
Brandon Lopez for Mr. Garcia.
Mr. Garcia is appearing by video conference from the Bexar County Jail. Mr. Garcia, can you tell me your full name?
You're on mute, sir.
Rogelio Guadalupe Garcia.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, on the screen, I have the true bill of indictment that was filed in this case. It alleges the offense of continuous violence against a family member. State, are we proceeding as charged?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
That is a third-degree felony. It is punishable by confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, the institutional division, for any period from 2 to 10 years confinement and a fine of up to $10,000. Do you understand the range of punishment, Mr. Garcia, that applies?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to a jury trial. You have the right to cross-examine all the witnesses against you, and you have the right to remain silent. All of those are your constitutional rights. Do you understand those?
Yes, ma'am.
When you sign this document, Mr. Garcia, what you're telling me is you want to give up those rights. Is that what you intend to do?
What is that supposed to mean, ma'am? I don't understand.
When you signed the document, you're telling me that you are going to give up your right to a jury trial, you're going to give up your right to cross-examine the witnesses, and you're going to give up your right to remain silent because you have an agreement with the state, you have a plea bargain, and instead of going to trial, you want me to follow your plea bargain. Is that what you intend to do today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is this your electronic signature here that I'm showing you at the bottom?
Okay.
Do you see it? Is that your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you a citizen of the United States, Mr. Garcia?
I'm a U.S. citizen.
You are?
Yes, ma'am.
If you were not, I'm still required to tell you that a plea of guilty or no contest to this charge can result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Mr. Garcia, are you satisfied with the representation of your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Lopez, does your client have a rational and factual understanding of the proceedings against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Has he been able to assist you in the preparation of any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
In your opinion, is he mentally competent to waive his rights and enter into a plea?
In my opinion, he is, Your Honor.
I will accept the waiver and make it part of the record. Mr. Garcia, on the screen, I have the plea bargain that you made today. I want to go over it with you. And then I want you to tell me if this is your understanding of the plea bargain.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
calls for punishment to be assessed at a cap of 4 years $1,500 fine. The state is opposed to your application. There's going to be an affirmative finding of family violence, no contact order with justice science. Is that your understanding of the plea bargain?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lopez, is that your understanding?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that your understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is your plea to the charge of continuous violence against the family? Is it guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I'm paying no contest.
And are you pleading no contest because you've talked about this matter with your attorney and you believe it's in your best interest to do so?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you doing this freely and voluntarily?
I'm doing fraud, voluntary.
You're doing it voluntarily?
No, what is it called? I don't know. I don't get you. Sorry,
Okay, that's okay. I'll slow down. When you enter a plea of no contest, are you making the decision to enter a plea freely and voluntarily?
Yeah, I'm entering freely.
Okay, another way to ask it is, has anyone forced you to enter a plea today
No, ma'am.
or offered you anything in exchange so that you would plead today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I will accept your plea of no contest. I find the plea is voluntarily made and I will ask the state to tender its proof.
At this time, state offers State's Exhibit 1 and attachments into evidence, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
State's one is admitted. Mr. Lopez, are you satisfied the state complied with Article 3914?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Do we need a full-blown tap on this or just a tap, a full-blown PSI or just a tap?
Your Honor, there's some mental health concerns as well. I know we're asking for time, but should you grant probation, I think those should be addressed and looked at. So we would ask for a DDRF evaluation.
I agree.
Okay, so let's do everything then. Bianca's not in here, so I'll have to wait for her to get back in to give her the terms. So give me a minute to read these exhibits and then I'll come back.
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Garcia, just so you know, sentencing would be August the 19th. If you want to be with me, that's the next sentencing date that I'm available, okay?
Okay.
Okay, hang tight.
Mhm. Hey, sir, can I talk to you at the breakout room real quick? I can hear you, sir. You're on mute.
You're still attached to the breakout room, so just go to the bottom and join it.
Okay. Hey, sir, how you go to breakout room? Right here?
Oh, boxes.
Right here?
Let's go back on the record, please, on Rogelio Garcia. I do find the evidence is sufficient to substantiate your guilt, and I will make no other findings at this time. I'm going to reset you for a PSI, a DDRF, and a TAP evaluation. So this is going to all be heard on August the 19th. All right, so we're going to go off the record, and then I'm going to put you in a breakout room with probation. You need the conditions, Bianca? I mean, you got the plea bargain?
No, I didn't get back in time.
Okay, it's a cap of 4, opposed. Affirmative finding of family violence and no contact order with Jessica Science. So we're gonna do a PSI, TAP, DDRF for August the 19th. Okay. All right, so Mr. Garcia, you're both in room 2, so I'm gonna move my probation officer over there. All right, thank you. We're gonna be off the record.
Do I go to the breakout room?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome. Okay. Thank you, Louise. We'll see you Monday. Take care.
Okay, Judge, I got everything.
All done?
Yes. It took a while.
Yeah. That's okay. Thank you.